This is our presentation on the Ronald McDonald House.
Ashton, Benge,
Brytni, Emison,
Caroline Ward,
and Marilyn, Cherwaty.
The Ronald McDonald House program was built on the simple idea that nothing else should matter when a family is focused on healing their child. Not where they can afford to stay, where they will get their next meal, or where they will lay their head at night to rest. For the past 36 years, Ronald McDonald House of Dallas has been doing exactly that. Since reopening the doors in 1981, over 37,000 families have been provided a home away from home in times when they need it most. Their biggest goal is to keep families close and give them the care they need. Their worldwide mission and vision is a world where all children have access to medical care and their families are supported and actively involved in their children's care. The mission of Ronald McDonald House Charities is to create and find and support programs that directly improve the health and well-being of children and their families. While the house in Dallas has a more focused ideal in keeping families together, inspiring strength, and giving love and support to families whose children are receiving essential medical care. The Dallas's personal mission statement is, in an effort to lessen the burden, reduce the stress, and keep the family intact while enhancing the quality of life for these families, Ronald McDonald House of Dallas provides temporary housing in a caring home-like atmosphere. Ronald McDonald House program was built on the simple idea that nothing else should matter when a family is focused on healing their child. The House of Dallas is keeping families together, inspiring strength, and giving love and giving support to families whose children are receiving essential medical care. Ronald McDonald House of Dallas makes a huge impact with support of 17,000 volunteers who dedicate their time, talent, and treasures to Ronald McDonald, helping to offset costs and allowing the charity to direct more donations back to programs supporting children and their families. In 2017, they aided nearly 3,000 children and their families. Issues the Dallas House faces includes the fact that there is always a waiting list. Turning people away is something no one wants to ever have to do. However, their capital campaign is breaking ground to help this issue. A strained staff is a concerning issue, and workers have multiple roles and become stressed and feel overworked. The Ronald McDonald House Charity is recognized as a public charity under the Internal Revenue Code Section 509A and has a 501c3 status. Donations to Ronald McDonald House Charities are deductible.
So now I'm going to be talking about the board and the organization for the Ronald McDonald House. The organizational structure of this nonprofit is pretty easy to follow. It starts at the top with Jill Cumnock, the executive director. It then branches into the chief operating officer, Amy Hatfield, the chief financial officer, Whitney Newell, and the chief development officer, Diane Fullingham. The staff then branches into house operations under the chief operating officer and development under the chief development officer. The operations side includes the volunteer coordinator, the family activities coordinator, the food services coordinator, facilities management, and house operations. Under the development side, there's the special events manager, the marketing and communications manager, database manager, and the capital campaign manager. Jill Cumnock is the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House Dallas. She is a very effective leader. She is in the office every single day and constantly checking up on her staff. She makes personal connections with all of the families staying in the house and is intentional with and grateful for every single one of the volunteers. The staff is a very close-knit group. They are parents, grandparents, young adults, and more. They are always working together and helping each other out with different projects. Over half of them have some sort of personal connection with Ronald McDonald House, which makes it extremely special for them to work there. For the Ronald McDonald House of Dallas, there is a board of directors and an advisory board. They are a well-functioning board. The composition of the board is big, which allows them to make great changes and strides because of their large number. They all have many connections in Dallas, which helps them accomplish things. They are well organized, and there is a lot of clarity on rules and policies. They are cohesive due to the fact that they all want to see their house succeed. The board includes a chair, chair-elect, secretary, and a treasurer. These are the only clear job descriptions due to the large nature of the board. They are businessmen and women, doctors, professors, parents, and more, and this makes them a very well-rounded group. Volunteers are the backbone of this nonprofit. There's a group of volunteers who come to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for the families. Along with this, there are regular volunteers who come to work at the front desk and manage house referrals, those who help come and clean, those who volunteer to drive vans back and forth to the hospitals, and those who come to volunteer at the kids' camp that runs all summer. One of their main fundraisers, the Trains at North Park, is also completely run by volunteers. There's such an interest to volunteer at this house that there is even a full-time position entitled volunteer coordinator to organize and schedule all of the groups coming in. The volunteers do have to do a background check before volunteering for the safety of the staff and the families. There's not a strict policy on firing volunteers, but some are asked not to return if they cannot comply with the expectations of the house.
Now we're talking about the Ronald McDonald House of Dallas' strategic plan. The plan was revised in 2015 and is a 3-year plan. One of the first goals of the strategic plan is to enhance service. They do this through the initiatives set out. They include to provide excellent hospitality, to provide a safe environment for families, and to identify beneficial programs. They measure the initiatives through the performance metrics. These include positive feedback of 85% on exit surveys, to create and implement 2 new programs, and to implement family background checks. The second part of the strategic plan is to strengthen financial stability. These initiatives include to broaden and strengthen funding support and to form stakeholder partnerships. The performance measures include to increase number of donors by 10% with focus on groups already involved at the Ronald McDonald House of Dallas, to diversify the donor base to include 5% increase from grants or corporate gifts, and to increase revenue to work towards a zero-based budget. The last goal of the strategic plan is to explore expansion growth. These initiatives include assess occupancy and determine expansion growth needs and to increase awareness. These performance measures include to create an expansion plan and timeline, to collaborate with the Scottish Rite Hospital for in-hospital programs, and to increase social media and online visitors by 15%. Next, we'll cover the different programs offered. These include the House Program, Meals That Heal, Camp Cornet, and Family Activities. The House Program. The guests have the opportunity to connect and receive strength and stability from others who share similar experiences. Every part of the House Program focuses on providing an atmosphere of comfort and care. Guest rooms accommodate up to 5 people so the family can stay intact. The Ronald McDonald House of Dallas includes 52 private rooms with private baths and also includes 6 suites that include a kitchen. Meals That Heal. The Ronald McDonald House of Dallas is one of the few houses that provides 3 meals a day every day of the year. It is a comfort for families to know that there is a home-cooked meal waiting for them after a long day at the hospital. Camp Cornet is an annual summer camp for children at the hospital. It is free of cost for any registered guest at the house. It houses ages 4 through 16 and runs Monday through Thursday, June through August. Family activities. The Ronald McDonald House of Dallas offers many family activities to the host. This includes family haircuts, which are haircuts for all family members, family house meetings, which are Monday evenings every day of the week to learn about what's going on at the Ronald McDonald House of Dallas and to get questions answered by staff. Healing Hounds, enjoy a visit with a trained therapy dog. Dance to Live is a family activity designed for kids and can be enjoyed by kids of all ages. And then there's the New Moms group, where new moms can gather with nurses from UT Western, Southwestern, Children's Health, and WIC to learn about resources available to you and to get the new mom questions answered.
Now I'm going to be talking about fundraising and fund management. So how the Dallas Ronald McDonald raises funds, initially they started with a grant from the Ray Kroc Foundation, which is now called the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and that provided the initial startup money to fund the building for Dallas Ronald McDonald. And then the rest of the funds were raised to complete the facility, and now fundraising comes from gifts made by the Crystal Charity Ball, foundations, corporations, and from individual contributors. So this is just a breakdown of fundraising for Ronald McDonald Dallas, and their total funding in 2017 was 14% from programs, 38% from contributions, 7% from the Ronald McDonald or McDonald's corporate essentially, and then 42% earned from special events. The vehicles and strategies that Ronald McDonald's uses, they have a variety of them, including individual corporate donors, community organizations, and special events. So this first one is about donors. And for donors, they rely mostly on contributions and donations. And their largest fundraiser or donor solicitation event is the Capital Campaign, which they're conducting right now. They're trying to raise $11.5 million. And they do this by calling on donors' empathy, and they provide examples of results to kind of incentivize donors to give. And donations from philanthropists in Dallas raise the most income, and then come people and companies who regularly donate every year. And that's who Dallas Ronald McDonald truly counts on. So they also raise a large portion of their funds through special events. 44% of funding in 2016 came from special events, and it's used to target groups of all ages, and they really rely on participation of the community. So their first event that they do is the Addison Rotary Open, which is just a golf tournament, and it's raised more than $1 million in the last 9 years. The second major event they do is the nation's largest giving day, which last year was on September 14th, 2017, and they participated in the North Texas Giving Day. And then the second is called Raise Love Fundraising Team, where they just kind of use the story of a particular baby to incentivize giving and how it can benefit families. The second is a major holiday giving event. It's called Trains at North Park, and they sell tickets to these model trains, and it really attracts children and people of all ages. The second one is called Under the Moonlight Gala, and it's for a little bit of an older crowd. And then the third is called the Young Friends Party, and this is truly for young professionals. And the most important part about these special events are that they really attract members of the entire community and people of all ages. And so they also have an endowment, and it's held under a separate entity called the Endowment Foundation, and it oversees investments according to an investment policy strategy. And the endowment trustees, investment committee, and advisors meet at least 3 times a year to review the performance and see how those investments are paying off. So this is an example of their last year's 990 form, and just it gives the expenses, their revenue, and this is what they would submit to the IRS. And so this is how they would manage their funds. They manage costs or expenses are 2.5% come from administrative, 72% are from the actual program, and then 25.5% come from fundraising and running those events. And so who manages these funds? They decide how these funds are spent, and that comes from the Chief Financial Officer, Whitney Newell. She manages all the funds, and then the COO and the Chief Development Officer also help decide where the funds should go and then how to manage them precisely.
Locally, Alpha Delta Pi hosts 2 events a year that raises awareness and money for the Ronald McDonald House charities. Pi a Pi is an event where anyone can pie a member of 80 Pi, and their ticket to the house is a basketball tournament featuring 3v3 games. In the past year, their philanthropy events have raised a combined total of almost $35,000 for the Ronald McDonald House. We have included this page with the numerous ways that are available for you to serve or support the Ronald McDonald House of Dallas specifically. The Ronald McDonald House is a nonprofit organization that some of us already support, and a charity we would all give our time, talents, and treasures to, even if it's just buying some fries from McDonald's. I would consider supporting the Ronald McDonald House in the future. However, there are many other organizations and needs that hold a special place in my heart.
I would highly recommend giving to this extremely organized and efficient nonprofit, and because of that, I think I would support them in the future as well.
After spending this summer interning at Ronald McDonald House of Dallas, I know I will stay involved in the future.
My sister has had the pleasure of being one of the families that has been helped by Ronald McDonald House, so I would definitely support them in the future.
Thank you for listening.